The year 1995 marked a turning point in the history of Bosnia and Herzegovina. After years of brutal conflict, the warring factions finally agreed to come to the negotiating table. The Dayton Accords, signed on November 21, 1995, offered a glimmer of hope for a nation ravaged by war. The Accords were the culmination of weeks of intense negotiations led by the United States. The agreement aimed to end the bloodshed and pave the way for a lasting peace in the region. The Dayton Accords were not a perfect solution, but they represented a significant step towards peace. The Accords established a framework for a complex power-sharing agreement between the Bosniaks, Serbs, and Croats. This fragile peace would be overseen by an international peacekeeping force. The United States, with its military might and diplomatic influence, played a crucial role in brokering the Dayton Accords. The Accords were a testament to the commitment of the international community to ending the conflict and preventing further suffering. Following the signing of the Dayton Accords, the United States deployed thousands of troops to Bosnia and Herzegovina. These soldiers, many of whom were very young, arrived in a country still bearing the scars of war. The landscape was dotted with bombed-out buildings, and the atmosphere was heavy with tension. The mission was clear: to enforce the peace agreement and help create the conditions for lasting stability. U.S. troops were tasked with a wide range of responsibilities, from patrolling the ceasefire lines to providing humanitarian assistance. They worked alongside soldiers from other NATO countries, forming a multinational force dedicated to peacekeeping. The deployment of U.S. troops to Bosnia was a significant undertaking, requiring logistical expertise and a commitment to diplomacy. The soldiers faced a challenging and often dangerous environment, but they were determined to fulfill their mission and bring peace to the region. For the U.S. soldiers deployed to Bosnia, each day brought new challenges and uncertainties. Patrolling the ceasefire lines was a constant duty, requiring vigilance and a readiness to respond to potential threats. The soldiers traveled in Humvees and armored personnel carriers, their weapons always at the ready. They encountered a population still deeply affected by the war, some welcoming their presence, others suspicious or hostile. The soldiers distributed food and supplies, interacted with local children, and tried to build bridges of understanding. They witnessed firsthand the devastation caused by the conflict, encountering refugees returning to their destroyed homes and families torn apart by violence. Despite the hardships, the soldiers found ways to maintain their morale. The peacekeeping mission in Bosnia was fraught with challenges. The soldiers had to navigate a complex political landscape where ethnic tensions simmered beneath the surface. The threat of landmines and unexploded ordnance was ever present, a deadly legacy of the war. Snipers and paramilitary groups posed a constant danger, testing the soldiers' courage and resolve. The harsh Bosnian winters added another layer of difficulty, with freezing temperatures and treacherous road conditions. Despite the risks, the soldiers persevered, driven by a sense of duty and a desire to make a difference. They relied on their training, their comrades, and their own inner strength to overcome the obstacles they faced. The experience of serving in Bosnia left an indelible mark on the soldiers, shaping their perspectives and instilling in them a deep appreciation for the fragility of peace. Section 5. Building Trust, U.S. Soldiers and the Local Population. One of the most important aspects of the peacekeeping mission was building trust with the local population. The soldiers were acutely aware that they were not just there to enforce a peace agreement, but to help create an environment where peace could flourish. They participated in community projects, helping to rebuild schools, hospitals, and infrastructure destroyed during the war. They organized sporting events and cultural exchanges, seeking to foster reconciliation and understanding between the different ethnic groups. The soldiers learned some of the local language, sampled the local cuisine, and showed a genuine interest in the people and their culture. These efforts at cultural exchange were not always easy. The wounds of war ran deep, and suspicion and mistrust lingered. However, over time the soldiers' patience and dedication began to yield results. Section 6. Success Stories, Moments of Hope and Progress. Amidst the challenges, there were moments of hope and progress that gave the soldiers a sense of accomplishment. The successful implementation of the ceasefire agreement, though often tested, prevented a return to large-scale violence. The return of refugees to their homes, though a slow and painful process, offered a glimmer of hope for a more normal life. The rebuilding of schools and hospitals, though a daunting task, symbolized the possibility of a brighter future. The soldiers took pride in knowing that their presence was making a difference, however small. They witnessed firsthand the resilience of the human spirit and the power of hope to overcome even the most difficult circumstances. These experiences solidified their belief in the importance of their mission and the value of their service. Section 7. The Human Cost: Sacrifices Made in the Name of Peace. The peacekeeping mission in Bosnia came at a cost. While the deployment of U.S. troops helped to prevent further bloodshed, it was not without its sacrifices. Some soldiers made the ultimate sacrifice, losing their lives in accidents, landmine explosions, or attacks by hostile forces. Their deaths served as a stark reminder of the dangers inherent in peacekeeping operations and the risks that soldiers take to protect others. Beyond the physical casualties, many soldiers carried the invisible wounds of war, struggling with the psychological toll of their experiences. The trauma of witnessing violence, the stress of living in a dangerous environment, and the moral dilemmas inherent in war all took their toll. The sacrifices made by U.S. soldiers in Bosnia underscore the high cost of peace and the debt owed to those who served their country in harm's way. Section 8. Legacy of Peacekeeping: A Lasting Impact. The U.S. military's involvement in Bosnia left a lasting impact on both the country and the soldiers who served there. The presence of U.S. troops, along with the efforts of other international organizations, helped to create the conditions for a fragile peace to take hold. The experience of serving in Bosnia also had a profound impact on the U.S. military, leading to valuable lessons learned about peacekeeping, nation-building, and the complexities of ethnic conflict. The deployment to Bosnia highlighted the importance of diplomacy, the need for a comprehensive approach to post-conflict reconstruction, and the critical role of international cooperation in maintaining peace and security. The lessons learned in Bosnia continue to inform U.S. foreign policy and military strategy to this day. Section 9. Bosnia, 1995, a defining moment for U.S. global engagement. The U.S. military's involvement in Bosnia in 1995 marked a defining moment for U.S. global engagement in the post-Cold War era. It demonstrated the United States' willingness to use its military might in support of humanitarian goals and to play a leading role in international peacekeeping efforts. The deployment to Bosnia also underscored the complexities and challenges of intervention in ethnic conflicts, where historical grievances, political instability, and the lack of trust between warring factions can make achieving a lasting peace extremely difficult. The legacy of the U.S. military's involvement in Bosnia is complex and multifaceted. It serves as a reminder of the devastating human cost of war, the importance of international cooperation, and the enduring challenges of building peace in a world often torn by conflict.